people have opinions on things they know nothing about, and the more ignorant they are, the more opinions they have. Thomas Hilder, Fallout, New Vegas. This is a quote directly from a video game that is considered incredibly violent, and I think it adequately sums up the controversy over video games today. According to a study performed by Variety News, nearly 70% of people have played video games consistently on a device. This device can be an Xbox, a PC, Game Boy, or even a smartphone. Video games affect everyone, no matter how frequently or infrequently they have used them. My name is Melanie Mardino, and this is my persuasive speech for COM 231. As an individual who grew up in the era where video games became prominent, I have experienced the world both with and without the influence of video games. As a teen, I was frequently banned from playing video games because my parents were certain it would make me a violent human being and I would end up in jail. More recently, I've explored what the world of PC has to offer and can be considered a gamer myself. Imagine having two children in a new school. Child number 1 is outgoing and social. Child number 2 is reserved and quiet. Our first child will immediately go out and talk to his classmates, easily making friends. The second child will sit alone by himself and never develop social skills. Child 1 goes to his friend's home after school to play and have fun, but child 2 goes home alone. Today I would like to discuss the most prominent argument against video games, that they encourage violence in youth. Then we will consider the social life skills gained from playing video games and review studies that show that they improve mental activity and reflexes. A day does not go by that we don't hear on the news, games are too violent. The message is evil. They turn your children into monsters. As a parent, you have every right to be concerned about what your child is viewing and often end up fighting with them to go outside, do homework, anything just to get them to turn off the machines. We are fed false information that is sadly way off the mark of what these games are actually about. Andrew Polsky and Netta Weinstein conducted a research investigation to determine if time playing video games affected levels of aggressive behavior. They created a study of 14 to 15-year-olds and their parents. Equal male and female participants. The individuals reported their recent gaming experience. This included the hours played, games, and level of violence incorporated into the games. The parents of these youths were interviewed regarding the level of aggressive behavior they noticed in their children, both before, during, and after video game interactions. This experiment was done over the course of a year in order to better gauge the effects over time. The hypothesis of the study was that time spent playing video games is positively associated with adolescents' everyday behavioral aggression. The result did not support the prediction in any way and was altered later in the experiment to observe the social behaviors of these individuals in order to further see effects of violent video games. It was noted in the study that not all of the games reported contained a form of violence. However, the social and aggressive behavior did not alter among any of the children. Although behavior did not change before and after gaming, parents did notice short outbursts of anger during games. The anger was usually following a character death and directed at either a friend they were playing with or another individual online. After careful consideration, it was determined that the tantrums were nothing more than normal competitive activities that could be witnessed anywhere rivalry existed, for example, a board game. Weinstein concluded that violent video game engagement, on balance, is not associated with observable variability in adolescents' aggressive behavior. As Mark Prensky discusses in his journal, the true secret of why kids spend so much time on their games is that they're learning new things that they need for their 21st century lives. Schools are incredibly tedious in their learning styles. It can be argued that they're outdated, but the main point is that children are disinclined to pay attention and actually learn what schools have to offer. Of course, the information provided is necessary and absolutely required for succeeding in life. The worlds created in video games are much more compelling than children's real lives because they are fantasy that can be manipulated and controlled. Real life can be dull or worse, painful. Everyone needs to escape from the world for a time, and video games are how children do it. Games teach important life skills. Everyone has seen the commercials or purchased razors by Gillette. The creator and owner of the company once stated, "I remember my mom and dad yelling at me. They didn't know I had a 200-person online guild to manage." You really get experience in life by playing these games. Games such as Final Fantasy and Tribal Wars, both online games, contain groups called guilds, tribes, or free companies. Roles in management of these guilds are fabulous ways to gain knowledge about how to influence people and get them to work together. I myself have run several tribes and know firsthand how difficult it is to get unwilling, independent village owners to band together to progress in the game. It took several tries and many failures to learn what works and what does not work, and unfortunately sometimes something only works once. Children learn how to collaborate effectively with others from video games. Single-player games are less common now. These days it's all about multiplayer, team-based performance. Games such as Overwatch pit teams of 6 players against each other and require constant verbal communication along with leaders and listening skills in order to succeed. It teaches adaptability as well. If a comp is not working effectively, players will switch to different heroes in order to alter their capabilities and get an edge in the game. These are amazing life skills that cannot be taught in group projects. That are required in schools. Video games improve visual motor control, more commonly referred to as hand-eye coordination. A study done by Psychology Science compared individuals who played action games for at least 5 hours a week to those who played less than an hour a month. The study required all of the young adults to participate in a driving simulation, where they had to keep a car in a straight line. The simulation added crosswind resistance randomly to the individual's experience. Those who played action games more often responded 75% faster and 50% more accurately than those who rarely played video games. Another simulation was requested where individuals were required to move a joystick to keep a dot in the center of the screen. Once again, those that played video games were more successful than those that did not. A final test was done where a group of non-gamers were split into 2 groups. Group A was assigned to play a shooting game, and Group B a strategy game. Every day they were given the joystick simulation. After some time, Group A, the shooter group, improved significantly on the joystick, while the strategy group, Group B, did not. All of these studies indicated that video games improve hand-eye coordination of an individual. The University of Arkansas performed an experiment that found changes in brain activity and increased performance on visual selective activity after playing League of Legends for 1 hour. Processing information uses energy, so individuals who excel at visual selective attention, who can narrow their focus and block out distractions, are using their brains more efficiently, says Neuroscience News. We have discussed why video games do not promote violence in youth, the important life skills they develop, and how it can positively affect mental functioning in individuals. Video games should not be banned from homes simply because of ignorant misconceptions of those who don't understand them. You cannot destroy a culture that has been created simply by removing it from individuals' homes, especially when it has such beneficial outcomes. In the words of Pokemon trainers everywhere, it's not very effective. I'd like to show you my works cited, all of these. Thank you so much for watching.